the emergency room, the emergency department, emergency medicine physician, Dr. Mana Kosongo. Dr. Kosongo, it is good to see you. Thank you for taking time to come and visit with us. And you and I didn't plan to dress alike, did we?
We did not.
We did not, but Dr. Kosongo came in. She said, my favorite color is purple. That's pretty close to mine, too. I've got the tie, and so we match up good. Dr. Kosongo, how long have you been at Crisp Regional?
I've been at Crisp Regional since 2017, and I've been in the emergency room that whole time.
Now, in the emergency room, when we talk about frontline responders,
Yes.
you certainly are and are qualified as one, being in the emergency department. You see us at our very worst, don't you?
Yes. So in the emergency department, we see everything. You know, we see people who are having strokes and heart attacks and broken legs, and people in car accidents, and people who basically have not been able to also access any kind of care. So we see people sometimes when they're really at their worst, when they have no other options, when they've gotten so sick that they cannot breathe, they can't walk. So it becomes, we are there as the place where you go when you feel your worst. And
do you find that when we should come to the emergency room just as quickly as we feel the onset of symptoms, just as soon as we feel like, I've got to get on over to the ER, why do we make that the last option?
Well, I think it's sort of psychological. I mean, I think that, when you feel bad and you want to make sure that you're doing okay, you tend to think, well, I'm going to stay away from the emergency room for now. I just want to go ahead and see if I can see my doctor, if I can see other people before I go there.
Let me see if I can get feeling better.
Yes, let me give it some time. Which there's nothing wrong with that. You just want to see well, maybe I'm overreacting. I want to just kind of see where this goes. And I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that, but I think with certain things though, you don't want to wait. So if you're having any kind of chest pain, that's not something you want to wait
Shortness
on.
of breath, chest pain, pain in the left arm,
yeah, those
high
kind of
blood
things
pressure.
through the roof, headaches, stroke-like symptoms, you're not speaking right, you're not walking well, people are noticing that people like your loved ones are telling you you're not acting right and you're not the same person, then those are not things that you want to wait on.
Sure.
Now,
emergency room medicine, emergency room physician, why did you choose that particular field of medicine?
well, thank you for that question. I was actually born in Central Africa. I was born in the Congo, and I spent most of my time living in different parts of the United States, Chicago, Boston, and then moved back to Liberia when I was about 10 years old. And while living there was a civil war, and most of the care that I accessed was through emergency services because we were in between a civil war and about to go into another civil war. There were not the options of going to a private physician, really, because everything had kind of been shut down. So my idea of what medicine was as a child, being formed and deciding on what I wanted to do with my life, was emergency, And so when I thought of physicians, I thought of emergency physicians as the physician when I was deciding, this is what I want to do with my life. I wanted to help the doctor that was there to help me. And in my own, sort of childlike mind, I was like, I want to come back and help him. And so that ended up being
Personal experience sent you right into the emergency medicine.
Yeah.
And you have thrived.
Yes, I have. I have really enjoyed my time in it. I feel like I've made a significant contribution to the health of Southwest Georgia, and it gives me a great sense of pride.
The emergency department at Crisp Regional, I have the opportunity just about every month to cover the Crisp Regional Hospital Board. And in those board meetings, they're always talking about all the different technologies that are in the emergency department at Crisp Regional and those that are coming state-of-the-art. We certainly do have a state-of-the-art facility at Crisp Regional, do we not?
Oh, absolutely. We are on top of every most recent, most sort of modern, the best thing that is out there all of the technologies, all of the treatments that are being done across the country, around the world. We are at the forefront of that. We are doing all those things. So you can be rest assured that if you're coming to our emergency department, you are going to get the best care.
You're going to get the best care. You're
Yes.
even doing telemedicine there. If you need to be seen by another doctor in another hospital in another town,
Absolutely.
you can dial them up on TV and do that.
Yes. So a lot of times with some of our more complicated cases, when people have these, kind of complicated strokes or complicated lung issues or just complicated psychological or psychiatric issues, we're able to take care of those patients as well, because we have the ability to have you see a physician that may not be here local, but that they can see you and they can take care of you by doing telemedicine. It's been very effective. And sure. I want people to know that you're getting an amazing care with us doing that. And that's something that's a point of pride for us.
Absolutely. Now, when coronavirus, when COVID raised its ugly head,
yes,
it really put. And when we talk about first responders and those in the forefront, it really taxed our emergency department. You as a physician,
yes,
emergency room nurses,
yes,
and those that care for us. It really taxed you guys out, didn't it?
Yes. So part of the issue for the past 2 years has been these surges that have happened. Multiple surges where we've had so many cases, and what it has done, what it was doing was it was sort of tapping sort of our resources, but it was also making it so that we were still giving everybody amazing care, but it just made it harder to do that. So when you have an influx of patients that have COVID-like symptoms and they're really sick, we're able to take care of those patients, but then we also have to still take care of everybody else who's got chest pain, the heart attack, the strokes, the broken leg, the vomiting, can't keep anything down. I mean, those are the people with the stomach bug, people with pneumonia. All of those patients still have to be seen.
Sure.
And so, with the influx of just a ton of patients, it becomes really difficult to do that. So what we're asking people to do, or what we'd like people to do, is now that some of the COVID numbers have gone down, thankfully.
Thank you.
Yes, is to reflect and sit back and think about what can I do as a member of this community to make sure that our emergency department and our hospital that we love and care for stays free to take care of everybody and take care of everybody in the way that they deserve and that they get. And one of those things I think is to think about getting yourself vaccinated. That's one thing that we could do, because right now we're looking at Georgia in general, we're looking at a 65% vaccination rate. Some parts of the country we're looking at 80%. And Southwest Georgia, I'm not even sure that we've hit 50 yet. So I would like people to consider talking to their primary care physician, talking to someone they trust, a pharmacist, a provider in their life, a PA, a nurse practitioner, someone in their life that takes care of them, and asking them if this would be the best course for them. But I would like them to seriously consider getting themselves vaccinated, because it is the best way to help to take care of yourself, take care of the people that you love, and also take care of the most vulnerable person in your life. Whether that's the youngest person in your life who can't get vaccinated, the oldest person in your life who has other multiple conditions, the person who's immunocompromised. These are the ways that you help to make sure that you take care of them, you take care of yourself, and you take care of the hospital that you care for that is in this community that cares for you. I really want us to kind of incorporate the idea of love thy neighbor, and as thyself. So when you do that, I think that this is one way that you can do that.
What's the hold up for us though? What made us so non-vaccinating? Why did we run from it?
I'm not really sure. I think it's kind of multifactorial. I think that there is a lot of, hesitancy in terms of what is this? It's new. It's coming. Is it something that the government's doing? We're not really.
What's the government trying to inject me with?
Yeah, and I totally get that, and I understand the hesitancy, because, we have to. You do have to ask questions, and I want people to be inquisitive. But the thing about it is, we were able to get rid of smallpox and polio, and we were able to do that because we all got vaccinated and we were all able to do that. So there is a hesitancy, and I think it just comes from not being able to maybe sometimes speak to the person that you need to speak to. I think there's access to care that we have to be able to really get better at. I think for a while there was also an issue of getting access to the vaccine, but or not knowing that it was available to you. People didn't know that for a long time that we were given it at Chris Regional.
Sure.
That you can get it, and then they didn't know that it was for free. You could get it at you could get it at CVS, you could get it at Walgreens, and it's still for free. It doesn't cost a dime. And what I would like to just caution people against is sometimes people can go down sort of that internet rabbit hole where you read things and you start to get into the different kinds of conspiracies. And I totally get that because this is something that's new. And,
now everything you read on the internet is true. Now you know that.
It's just I try to tell people that it's not always what it seems. And so the best thing to do is to ask someone in person.
Talk to your physician.
To someone, and find out what's best for you.
Because when we come to Dr. Kosongo, you're not going to lead me wrong.
No,
no. You're going to tell me what's best for me.
I call strikes, and I call strikes and balls, and I make sure that I tell you what I know. And if I also don't think that you're the person to get it, in other words, if I feel like you've had a problem with a flu vaccine in the past, I would say let's think about it. Let's talk to the pharmacist. Let's talk to your physician. There are things that there are people who legitimately cannot take this vaccine.
Right, I know a few.
Yes, and those are the people that we want to protect. So if we all work together and we reduce the virus load in this area, we can get back to what would be our new normal. And we can make sure that our kids are getting educated, that they're getting educated in person, that you can access the emergency room, and that I want to make sure that people know that we are safe, that we're taking care of people, that if you are feeling bad, come see us. But we don't want you to be hesitant about it. If you're thinking, well, if I go there, I'm going to run up on the COVID. Right, exactly.
Don't go over there because that's where COVID's at.
Right. And I don't want people to think that. I want people to know that we've done everything that we can to make sure that you're safe. And one way that the community can help us is by making sure that those that can get vaccinated do get vaccinated.
Sure. Just do your due diligence.
Yes. Do what you can.
Sure.
And that will help. That will go such a long way.
Absolutely.
And it'll make things a lot easier on us, and we can do our job to the best capacity that we can to give you the best care that you can.
Your preference is to see me in this capacity.
Yes.
Your preference is to see us out in the community doing what we do and doing well. You don't really want to see me come in that ER, do you?
That's funny. Sometimes I meet people, and it's been, there's sometimes, a lot of times we have these great interactions, and they say, it's been great meeting you, but I really would love to just meet you, at the coffee shop. I would love to meet you out and about.
Yeah. I'd rather sit down and drink a cup of coffee with you.
Exactly. I would just like to have, just discuss, I would like to talk to you, but not here,
I understand. Dr. Monica Kosongo, what a joy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So much. Will you come back?
Absolutely. Anytime.
I hope that you will. Dr. Monica Kosongo, and I hope that you get to see her out and amongst the people, out in the community, rather than having to see her where she works. But if you have to, she is there. She is an emergency medicine physician through Crisp Regional Hospital, and she is there to take care of her community. But maybe they'll get to see you just out in the general public.
Yes.
Dr. Kosongo, thank you so much. And thank you for joining us today on our Midday Local News. Jacob Spar, producer.